What is up, guys? Welcome back to another WOR League race. Finally back at it. Season or actually just fell down the water, and they stuck it. I think they both stuck it out for a little bit, and yeah, we're now lap 14, halfway through the race, and we are still running P13. And you see here, AE Ghosty gets taken out again. Maybe you remember him from one of my other live streams. Well, the same thing happened to him. Just bad luck for that guy. And as we see here, we get a safety car, and this is the biggest mistake I have ever made. So I was talking to my race engineer, and I was hesitating too much instead of just listening to instructions. I hesitated to go in the pits, and then I started pressing buttons that I shouldn't be pressing. I lost the tire. I was told to go on softs, and I switched it to hards. I was able to switch it back to softs. I went back on the used. The used were only 4% used tires, so we went for an aggressive strategy here, as we were gonna have about 9 laps left. So don't hesitate, you just gotta go for it. And safety car is ending here. You can see avoiding danger from that house right there, and two people lost their front wings just on that. So that gave me three free positions right there. But I lost time to the guys at the front, to P9. As you look at the map, I am well behind the train. I am 3 seconds behind. So my race engineer tells me, you're gonna have to push as hard as you can. You're gonna have to push and just take risk and try to catch up back to that DRS train. I don't think nobody else has softs. I think I was the only one on the softs. Even though they were used, it's what I had to do. So as you're gonna see here, I'm just gonna start pushing like crazy. Just take a look at the delta between me and P9, how rapidly it just starts dropping. So I'm gonna leave it here for a second so you guys can just see this push and how long it takes me to reach P9.
gap to the car ahead is 1.7 seconds.
And a lap and a half later, here I am back in the DRS train. That was probably one of the best pushes I've done, and taking advantage that those guys were fighting. And the Ferrari here was actually struggling a lot, and you'll see that here in the last couple of laps, which I found very strange because I was on used softs and he was using mediums. I don't know how worn those mediums were, but he was struggling a lot, which I was shocked. I thought my tires were gonna die out by the time I got a chance to fight him. By the time lap 25 came out, and he was gonna have a little more grip, but he did not have it. So here we have a VSC, and it actually helps me out a lot because the guy up front slows down so much. They get a really bad restart here off the VSC. So you're gonna see here, once the VSC goes back in, they slow down a lot, and it helped me out even more because I'm right here now, closer than ever, and they are actually away from the DRS train from the front. So now it's just a battle for P7 basically. And you see all the time that I was gaining here. They were losing a lot of time there, so I knew that I was gaining time there, so I was using that to my advantage, and I was just playing it safe. Had to play it safe, understanding that I have softs and they were going to be dying out very soon. So I knew how to make moves, but I had to be very careful about them. I had to just kind of be very opportunistic here and just wait for them to make mistakes and keep fighting. I already have DRS, so I don't have to worry so much about it here, but I was gonna go for an overtake, and I know it's not even with ERS and DRS. He was just faster than me on the straight, so I didn't want to waste my ERS there. And you see the Ferrari over there is blinking, so that was a telltale sign here that he was gonna start losing power soon here on the straights. And he was at a 3-second penalty, so had to take all these things to account when making passes and risks, and just making sure that I can secure at least a point. I thought it was gonna be the over here with the P10, but just continue the fight, and was able to work myself up a little higher than that. But yeah, we're stuck here on this DRS train, just kind of like in the real race in the back with Magnussen and Albon, Ocon, and the kit cars just kind of hanging out, even though we're on the top 10. It was just a four-way battle for the highest point possible you can achieve. And we fast forward a little bit, we take a look down the inside, but we pull out and come around the corner, and you see the Alfa Romeo bend it. Not sure if the Ferrari took him out or not, I didn't see it, but he was missing a tire. So that puts us now to P9, and like I was saying earlier, I had to just be a little patient because they were fighting really hard and they were struggling with tires. And you see another, actually my teammate, the Williams, facing the wrong way, missing a tire as well. So that puts us P8 now. So now I'm running P8, chasing a Ferrari that's wounded, and Aston Martin, who was actually very quick. And if you noticed earlier, he was running P2. He fell down the order, and actually I spun him out maybe like lap 3, completely accidental. I locked the brakes on the first turn, and I just clipped him, and he kind of spun, but he ended up in front of me, so good for him. That he was able to get some places back. I don't know what happened to him from P2 down, but I know when he was running in the back, I know we had a little incident. But here we are fighting now for basically for P6, Ferrari, Aston Martin, and the Williams. And then the rest of the grid, you see them on the map, are all the way at the front. And if you look at how many drivers are left, it's 8 out of 9. We had a full lobby, so it was just Jetta. So many DNFs, so many crashes. Nobody was able to just kind of keep it completely together, but we kept it together, so that's what counts. Up that our race, made some overtakes, and finished it on for a good first race back in WOR. Here I start putting more pressure on the Ferrari, who's struggling. I go for a switch back here, but I decide to back out because he was kind of lagging, and I just didn't want to risk it too much either, because I knew I can definitely overtake him for sure. I had a lot more pace than the Ferrari. As you see here, he was just very, very slow, so he must have been struggling for tires. He has no ERS, so I knew I had this P7 guaranteed as long as I didn't make any mistakes, and that's how it's gonna happen. Now with ERS and DRS open, go down the inside, final lap. I knew if I pass him here, he was not going to be able to keep up with me through the fast sections of Sector 1. So I just needed to make sure that I kept it together through the sector. I just knew for sure he was not going to be able to keep up through Sector 1 with me. So I started being as precise as possible, keeping it as clean as possible, not taking too much curb, and start pulling away. As you see here, he's already 6/10 back, and this is the bread and butter right here. I had to nail this turn right here, which I didn't, but I still gained 2/10 on him. And then this next corner, now we're in Sector 2. That's where he lost time last time, and that just wrapped it up. He lost all that time there, and now we're 1.4 seconds up, 1.5, 1.6, and yeah, it was a guaranteed P7 now. That's what I had to use. Sometimes you just have to sit back and analyze where your competition is struggling. I knew he was struggling heavily, especially on the beginning of Sector 2. That fast right-hander, he lost about 4/10 there to me. So I knew I had to just stick it out and be patient with it. So yeah, P7 from P15. Great race. Glad to be back in WOR. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.